I tell you guys, I tell you guys, I woke up this morning and my arm hurts really bad. And I really love Mark Carney. I don't know what's going on there, but I think somebody may have slipped something into my arm last night. And I think it was a liberal because I can remember before 4 months ago, but not after 4 months ago. So let's get into this awesome Mark Carney speech thing that he coronated last night. Good morning, Canada. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Parma John. And before we get into the really important news, the hot takes, can I please get you to subscribe down below, click that like button, and have the bell clicked for notifications. The media today is all in a glory. I tell you, if you work at CTV or CBC, that's about it. You are really happy today. Or if you're a bot on YouTube, you're also really happy today because Mark Carney is coronated in and forced down Canada's throat as the new Prime Minister. That is so awesome. I say forced down our throat because, as you can see, that whole thing was rigged. I don't know how you can get 43% support, be neck and neck with Chrystia Freeland, and just completely blow everyone out of the water. Especially when no one knows who you are. That's just the Canada that we're living in. First up today, we must celebrate the loss of the great one, Justin Trudeau. Guys, I know that he's been replaced by a bigger, heavier, harder, stronger, faster Trudeau, but we still need to just rake in the fact that he's gone. Guys, he's out of our lives. At least in a week. He's still going to be around a little bit. He might even still be around in the media. But the guy who's been PM for a decade stepped up to the mic, all teary-eyed and misty-eyed, step up to the mic to give the big drama teacher speech. Yeah, that's right. He treated it like a freaking movie audition. He also talked about the same thing they were talking about for months. Canadians need to fight, elbows up, against, guess who? Donald Trump. It was peak Trudeau, emotional, vague, and taking one last swipe at Donald Trump. And I tell you, good riddance. After years of skyrocketing debt, woke policies, and those freaking socks, he's finally out. But save your tears. Because, he's off in his private jet. Off to the next yoga class. Off to the next ski mountain resort. That dude has made so much money off of Canada since he's been here. You don't even close to feel bad for this guy. So let's take a quick recap before we gotta lay out the stepping stones, folks, to this disastrous leadership race. First, there's Chrystia Freeland, the hopeful feminist, trying to become the Liberals' first female leader. Unfortunately, Liberals don't like female leaders, as she got blown out of the water completely. Blown out of the water. I love Mark Carney. The last few months was like watching a freaking rom-com between the media and Mark Carney. Okay? I remember Christian getting bashed by Rosemary Barton. That was the definitive point for me. When she got bashed like that, Mark never seen Mark Carney once go against Vashi Kapelos. Meanwhile, Pierre is just sitting back with the popcorn, wondering what the hell he's gonna do. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, shall we? Mark Carney's got a truth problem, folks. And it's blowing up. At the same time as going through the leadership race, conservative members like Michael Barrett and Michelle Rempel-Garner have been constantly at press offerings, wondering about his assets, wondering what he's been doing with Brookfield, calling him out on his hidings, on the hidings of his stuff. First and foremost, right, we got Brookfield moving to New York 6 days after Trump announced the tariffs. Okay, I don't care your position on that. Try to cope with that one. Okay, dude knew tariffs were coming, moves his company out. Apparently it's still headquartered in Canada, but there's probably legalities to that. There are probably full operations in America where the taxes are cheaper. Then there's the Paul Martin scandal, where he said he helped balance the budget with Paul Martin. He wasn't even in Canada at that point. And don't get me started on his, oh, I quit all the boards fib, that he obviously didn't. And guess what? Here's my little juicy bit. Word on the street says Jim Jordan of the House Judiciary Committee is currently investigating Brookfield for antitrust laws that they're forcing companies to go green. Forcing the climate agenda on these companies. What does that mean? They're not just exactly forcing it on these companies, they're doing it in a way that provides them statistics that they can prove that this is working. $28 trillion spent on green, and it's done absolutely nothing. So yeah, but that's not fully in yet. That is circulating around, so I don't want to cause a ruckus, okay? But that guy might not just be getting it from the Canadian citizens, he might be getting it from American lawmakers. All while Pierre is sitting on his axe. Guys, Carney is a nightmare. He's all about big government, green policies, and taxing the hell out of you. He's vowed to keep retaliatory tariffs on America until they so-called respect us. But let's see how that handles with a bunch of pissed off citizens. Pierre's already calling it out. Okay, so I think Pierre's got the campaign already mapped out. This dude is toast. He's not going to be able to stand a chance against a lifelong politician. What's Carney's Canada going to look like? I'm seeing Parliament as a Goldman Sachs retreat. Carbon taxes so high we're all riding bikes. And a national anthem rewrite. Oh Canada, our green and pricey land. Plus he's got to call an election soon. So he's going to be Prime Minister for what, 2 months? That's barely enough time to redecorate your office. And the Conservatives are over here licking their chops. 20 million votes, anyone? But look, here's the real talk, okay? Trudeau drove this country into the ground. Tripled the size of government. Lowered the dollar by a third. A third. He lost a third of our value. Groceries so high, I can't afford them. $300 a week on average. The average family spending on groceries. Carney's stepping in with absolutely zero political chops, thinking that he's going to be able to fix everything with his banker magic. But honestly, we don't need another globalist. We need someone who gets the little guy, not the Davos crowd. Honestly. Guys, can Mark Carney handle a bunch of pissed off farmers and fishermen who are priced out of their shirts? I don't think so. So that's the scoop, folks. Trudeau's out, Carney's in, and Canada's a mess. What do you think? Is Carney a hero or a zero? Drop your best zingers in the comments, guys, and subscribe if you want to see more of the best unfiltered takes of Canadian politics. I'm your host, Parmesan, and this is Niagara Due North.